Alright, it's time for a really super back workout. It's been a while since we've documented a back workout, and today's was pretty sweet, if I do say so myself. So I want you to pull up a chair and hang out with us for a bit for today's super back and rear delt workout. Let's go get it. Hey gang, welcome back to Mark's 60 plus fitness journey. Well, you heard it. Today is back and rear delt day. And as I do on the preponderance of my back workouts, I start with pull-ups. I get great results with pull-ups, so I do pull-ups. And today what I'm going to do is 50 total reps, 50 total pull-ups in as few sets as possible. And each of those sets is going to be done to failure with about a minute or 90 seconds rest in between. And real quick, I just want to show you a snapshot of my little workout cheat sheet. I carry my workout log notebook. It's just a view of the current 6-day workout program, and as you see, Tuesday is back and rear delt day. And I'm going to do a video on that a little later on, discussing how I do that and why I do that. You see right there, weighed in at 187. Today, I've been constant at 187 for a while. That's a good thing. I've put on about 10 pounds, I guess in the last 16 weeks or so. Now today's workout is going to be predominantly like vertical pulls and machine rows. I want to keep the stress off my lower back. So for example, I'm not going to be doing barbell rows. And my theory on this is I can get an excellent back workout doing vertical pulls, seated rows, cable pull downs, that type of thing, without doing barbell rows. Now, I'll be the first to admit barbell rows are excellent, but when I do those, it seems to be at the expense of my squat and or deadlift days, because it really affects my lower back, so it's a little more tired than I like it to be on those squat and deadlift days. So next, as you see here, we're going to do some seated rowing on this hammer strength rowing machine, which I absolutely love. And we're going to do one set of neutral grip, as you see here, in the 12-ish rep range. An RPE of about 9 or 10 maybe to failure, but at least close to failure. And then we're going to do a second set of pronated grip, palms facing down, just to get a different grip, a different pulling point on the back. I think it makes a difference. I can feel a difference. For example, on the pronated, I can feel this a little bit more in my rear delts. And this is a rear delt workout day, so that works out just fine, doesn't it? And like I said, I'm going to do 2 sets of these after my pull-ups. Now, something else I want to talk about. In my recent history here, last 3 or 4 months, maybe longer, probably longer, I've been talking about doing lower volume, higher intensity workouts. And that's true for like my leg day, my squat day, my deadlift day, bench press day. Now back day, I don't really have a strength movement that I'm working on per se. For example, I'm not doing heavy barbell rows. So back day is a predominantly hypertrophy work. So I tend to do a little bit more volume and a little higher reps on this day. And today is a little different than even my last 3 or 4 back sessions, in that I probably did 3, maybe 4 extra total sets. It's a little more volume, so we'll see how it goes. But I have to say, looking back at that 6-day workout program, where we have 6 days on and 1 day off, as it is now. Monday's a day off, so yesterday was a day off. So today being Tuesday, as I record this, I was pretty well rested, so a little extra volume on back day, I think, works out perfectly. Now we're doing jumping into some T-bar rows here. I want to focus a little bit more on my mid-back thickness. For example, around the shoulder blade area there, the middle, lower traps, the rhomboid area, and of course, we're going to hit some rear delts here as well. And this T-bar row is supported, and it's following my Don't Torture My Lower Back program that I mentioned earlier. So being supported like this, my lower back is not involved, but I still get the feeling of a T-bar row, or even somewhat like a barbell row, just not at the expense of my lower back. Now, not that my lower back is injured or painful, I just like to save it, like I said, for the squat days and deadlift days. Now we're going to bebop on over here to this hammer strength high row machine. And I was just fiddling around here with a little bit different grip, using those handles just to see how that would work. And as a side note here, I think I had a little too much weight on here for me today to get the exact proper form I wanted. The range of motion wasn't the best, so a little bit heavy, I think. But back to those handles, I just like to experiment with different grips, different grip angles, and this felt pretty good. I'll probably do this again next time I use this machine. I don't use this machine all the time. As a matter of fact, today is kind of odd in that I didn't do any cable work. I didn't do any seated cable pull downs or seated rowing at all. It's kind of really, I guess I could consider this a heavier back day for me. But this is back to the conventional grip, and again, the weight was really a little bit too heavy for me to get the full range of motion and really proper contraction at the end of the movement. So as you'll see here in a moment, what I did was a few cheaters right there, and then we took a plate off on each side, and I finished up with a drop set. I didn't plan that as a drop set, but that's what we ended up with. And these last, I don't know how many, to 6, 7, 8 reps, I don't know, they felt good, but it was a proper contraction, full range, like all the way back right there. That's good. But normally I do 345s on each side, and I feel pretty good, but today was a little bit weak, but it could be because we've already done a good bit of work already by this point. And theoretically, we could have stopped right there and had a perfectly fine back workout, but we didn't. We kept going. And so now we're jumping over to some dumbbell rows, 2 sets of these in the 12-ish rep range. And while I'm thinking about it, I keep saying we. I'm here with my workout partner, Howard. He and I both did a back day today, and he was on the camera, and thank you, Howard, for that. And I also recorded his back workout, which you'll see in a few days. It's just when we combine both of them in one video, it ends up a little long. This one's already a little long. It's over 13 minutes, so hopefully you stick with me through the whole thing. But at any rate, it's nice to have you here. I really appreciate it. And while I'm thinking about it, if you like my content, if you're here for the first time and appreciate what you see, check out some other videos. And while you're there on one of those, go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have you here. This is a channel where we focus on older folks and what can be done at the age of 60 or 50 or 70. Howard is 70, and he's kicking it. And I've got some Howard videos out there, and like I said, we're going to follow up with Howard's back day. Howard just started working out not long ago, a little over a year ago, and he is killing it as well. If you don't know Howard, go check some Howard videos out too. He's really doing great. Really proud of him, and super appreciative of his camera work. So after the dumbbell rows, 2 sets of those, we jumped into some reverse pec deck work. This is something, this movement I'm starting to absolutely love. This is a little bit more rear delt focused. At least for me, on this machine, I can feel the rear delt being activated and burning by the time I get through with a set of these. And again, we did 2 sets here. And on this movement, you can go up to 15 or more reps, and that's perfectly fine. I think I did 16 on this first set here. But the reverse pec deck I'm doing in lieu of like dumbbell reverse flies, for example, which I also love. But I'm a big fan of changing it up. I don't want to get too stagnant and do the same thing over and over again. And here we're going to do 2 sets of face pulls to finish up the workout. And again, as I said, this was a little bit more volume than I normally do, but I felt good at the end of this workout. Like I said, I was rested because Monday, the day before this, was a rest day. And as I said, back day is more of a hypertrophy day for me. It's almost strictly hypertrophy for me. Again, keeping the lower back out of the day as much as possible. Again, not to beat a dead horse, but to save it for the heavier squat and deadlift days. But it was an excellent workout. And as I said, I'll have Howard's version of this out shortly. And I do want to say, I appreciate you guys and gals hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it. It's almost like you're here as we're recording this. So many thanks. And I guess with that I'll say, till next time, go get 'em. Mark out.